Back, you're still watching Your Story on SA Today. Now the question is, can a drone save a life?
The South African National Blood Service is putting it to the test. They've launched a drone program to deliver emergency blood to remote areas. This will be a major shift to improve access to medical services, especially in the rural areas.
Access to healthcare in South Africa is still a major challenge, and one of the contributing factors is long distances, poor infrastructure and remote areas where sometimes getting that access to healthcare is quite difficult. But here in South Africa, the South African National Blood Services are launching quite an innovative idea to kind of eradicate one of these issues using technology. We know drones have been around for a while. We've seen it being used in various other sectors, and now the healthcare sector in South Africa is also hoping to step into this fourth industrial revolution. With me to speak more about this is the CEO of SANBS, Jonathan Lowe. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Can you tell me what brought about this idea to deliver blood using these drones? Where did it start?
So the call to action, of course, was just the incidence of postpartum hemorrhage in deeply rural areas. So we have young ladies that have uncomplicated pregnancies that land up giving birth in a midwife obstetric unit. And let's not forget that most of our population in South Africa is still very deeply rural. Yes, urbanization is happening, but we still have a lot of people living in rural areas. And the incidence and prevalence of postpartum hemorrhage, and in fact women that just die from not having enough blood, is unacceptably high in South Africa. And as the South African National Blood Service, with the Department of Health, we are really doing our best to address this issue. So what we've done is develop a unique drone. It's called a VTOL, a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. This aircraft takes off like a helicopter, flies like a plane and lands like a helicopter. So we're able to go from one of our district blood banks to a midwife obstetric unit or a clinic very, very fast. The aircraft can fly at 180 kilometers an hour. It can fly for more than an hour, so the range is extremely long. It's highly efficient, so it's very, very cheap to run. Literally the cost of one flight is the cost of electricity, which is about 10 Rand per flight. And we're able to monitor the blood every inch of the way, so that the blood, we can tell the exact temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, etc., that the blood is exposed to. With taking off like a helicopter, flying like a plane and landing like a helicopter, we're also able to do two-way logistics. So it's not just that we're taking universal blood or O-negative blood into these midwife obstetric units. We can actually cross-match the patient, take their blood back to the blood bank, and then give them proper cross-matched blood that they can then have for their use. So
we know that blood, is a very fragile cell. It's something that needs to be taken lots of care, especially when we take it in a drone. So how is a drone modified to be able to transport it?
Yeah, so blood is basically composed of cells. So we have these little red blood cells or white blood cells, platelets, all the various constituents of our blood. And when we take them out of our bodies and we put them in a bag, that's pretty different to the kind of cushions that all of us have, that when we move around, the blood doesn't get shaken or stirred around too much. So one of the key things that we are always concerned about as the blood service is to ensure the integrity of our logistics, the integrity of our supply chain. So at all times, red blood cells are transported between 2 and 8 degrees. Platelets are transported at 22 degrees. They're very, very fragile. They cannot stand high G forces or differences in temperature. So the novel part of this VTOL aircraft is it takes off gently, it stores the blood at exactly the right temperature and pressure and lands gently. So we ensure integrity of our supply chain in order to save lives. The quality of our product is absolutely critical to saving those lives.
This is just the beginning of the technology that we can expect to see in the healthcare. What's next? What more do we need to help eradicate a lot of the issues that we have with our healthcare in South Africa?
So access to healthcare has always been a problem in South Africa. I mean, we have disparities, I think, between the public and the private sector. So as the South African National Blood Service, we make blood available to all citizens of the public, independent of of means. So our blood is as available to the public sector as it is to the private sector. So this program is truly designed to thank all of our 500,000 donors that are out there that donate about 1 million blood donations to save many millions of people's lives every year, and to show them that their blood is actively being used in deeply rural areas, so that there really is truly access to healthcare for everybody.
Thank you so much. That was Jonathan Lowe speaking to us here at the South African National Blood Services demo of their drone, which will be used to deliver blood from the blood banks to various hospitals around the country.